think about what's really the hardest thing to give. Many times the hardest thing to give is just our attention. We are so absorbed with what's going on in our own mind that we are not giving attention to what's happening around us. Another really hard thing to give is our time. If someone asks us to help them with something that's going to take some time to do, man, I've got all kinds of reasons in my head why I do not have the time to mess around with this. Think about helping somebody move. This is like this is like one of the hardest things. After you've done it a few times, you're going, man, I'm not moving anybody anymore. I'm selling my pickup truck. I am not going to do this another time. Those things that are the hardest to give probably are going to give the best rewards. So whatever it is that you find in yourself that's difficult to give, make more of an effort to do it. But also remember that sometimes people are asking for things that they really should be doing for themselves. We've talked about this many times, but it's really important to discern whether, should I really be doing this, or should they be using their own resources to do it? And a moment of quietness will help us decide. One of the things that will have us doing things that we shouldn't be doing is that we need acceptance. We need approval of others. So we go along with doing things for them that we really shouldn't do. But it's not helpful. It's not helpful to them. And really then not helpful to us. So somewhere along the line we got to say, no, this is, sorry. Stephen Covey's wife says this. She says when there's a greater yes burning within you, it's easy to say no. And what she meant was the greater yes is your own purpose, your own thing that you're supposed to be doing. And so if saying no to something that will keep you from doing the thing that you're better at or can be of greater service in doing, then say no. But don't just go take a nap. Give your best to something else. To think about being able, to be responsible. Responsible. I am able to respond. I'm able to respond to what's needed in me and to think, yes, I could do it. I have the ability to do it. But not to lie to ourselves when we know that really this is not our talent. To say, you know what, I've done this. I don't know how many times I've tried to do this. It never works out. So I probably shouldn't try to do it again. This is one of the reasons why last week what we were talking about is, if you don't have a law degree, you probably shouldn't try to be your own lawyer. If you haven't been to medical school, you probably shouldn't self-diagnose or self-medicate. You leave these things up to people who know how to do these things. And when you know you can't do it, then you just surrender. You just say, you know what, I really can't do this. Somebody else needs to do this. So sometimes our service would be if we had the ability, if someone asked us for help in some area and we really weren't good at doing that, something really generous would be to help them find someone else who does have the abilities. And maybe even to help them pay for it. Oh God. To choose to bring our own creative talents into everything that we do. How do we find out? We do this in the inventory process. There's this really helpful thing that we can do to ask ourselves, what are my accomplishments of the past? What have I accomplished in the past? I go, oh geez, I haven't accomplished very much. Well, remember when someone complimented you on something that you did that they thought was nice. You could remember that. Maybe that didn't happen all that often either, now that I think about it. What am I good at? What am I good at? If you think about it, there are things you're good at. What do I like to do? There are things you like to do. I like to sit around on the couch and watch television. How can I be of service while I do that? There's got to be a television budget. There needs to be a budget for watching television. You say, this is how many hours I'm going to give to the television, and that's it. That's my service to the television, this many hours. So I'm going to choose my programming cautiously. So, yes, but you like to do other things besides sit on the couch. And those things that you like to do and those things that you're good at, that gives you a direction, a sense of how you can be of service in the world. What are my hopes and dreams? You can go back to your childhood and this thing, it may even seem silly, but there's something in there. There's some seed of some germ of an idea from those old dreams that can inform you as to what you could do today. The dreams that you have now to say, to lose the cynicism and say, yes, you know what? It's possible. I could achieve that dream. And see, because by us allowing these talents that are within us to bloom and to become what they have the potential to become, it makes us better servants. Because we are actually bringing the best of ourselves then into society. And I believe, I know it sounds crazy, but I believe that the system, if we can let go of, and when I say the system, I mean the ecological system, I'm talking about life itself on the planet, and perhaps farther out than that, but life itself, that there is a place where each one of us fits in the system, and we each have, I'm saying that there's just enough carpenters. I'm saying there's just enough mathematicians without us having to make people into mathematicians that were never meant to be mathematicians. That the system itself, if we release self-centeredness, if we release fear, and allow people to become that which is within them, that the whole system will operate very smoothly. I know. So, and then to be just not distracted, to be undistracted, to say, today, I'm going to concentrate on the task at hand. How many times have you found yourself in the middle of work thinking about what you're going to do when you get home? And then when you're at home, thinking about what you left undone at work? Let's get this stuff into order. When I'm at work, I want to focus on being the best service that I can at work. That doesn't mean that I'm not going to take a break. Because we need to take a break. And it's the law, too, by the way. You get a break. So you take a break from time to time, but the idea is, let me put my focus on the task at hand. When thine eye be single, thine body will be full of light. Single-minded focus on the task at hand makes it an effort that has some divinity in it. That love comes forth. Even a job, and I know I've shared this with some of you before, but I can remember I worked at Chrysler on the assembly line for 12 years. And it was not the best of times. Let me just say that. I was impaired most of the time. But I remember this experience that I had with any job that they would give me. There's a moment when they first give you the job, it's like hell on earth on the assembly line. You don't have enough time. It's like, and then after doing it for a couple of days, your body is sore in places where you didn't know you had places. And it's very difficult. You think it's never going to get together. And then all of a sudden one day, you got it. You got it. And then if you can stop worrying about what time it is, if you can stop worrying about when the guy's going to come to give you a break, if you can stop worrying about any of those distractions and just relax into the job, there is a joy in it. There is a joy in just allowing your body to go through those movements and just immerse yourself in it. And any physical work, you can experience the same thing. When you get good at it and you give yourself to it, it can become a joy. I can remember having these, I worked in the body shop with these spot welders, and I had 3 spot welders hanging from these cords, and then I had my jig in front of me, and I built the firewalls. I would flop this thing in there, and I had coveralls on, and I would just start moving with these things, and sparks are flying and everything, and I just got into the groove of it, and I'm moving through it, and all of a sudden I look down and my coveralls are on fire. Anyway, there's joy in any job if we immerse ourselves in it, if we give ourselves to it. And if we find out that there's just no joy in it, that there's no way that we can take joy in it, we really do. We owe it to ourselves, we owe it to our employer to get another job, to do something else, to move on. But I say, like Brother Lawrence said, the reason that he was the happiest monk in the monastery is because he practiced the presence of God in everything that he did, whether it was peeling the potatoes or scrubbing the pots and pans. And I think that's available to us. And we remember that this is life. This is a happy life, is to take those things that are within us, allow them to come forth into the world in big ways, but also in small ways. And to try to find a way to take joy in each moment of service. And in that way, the servant in us becomes the greatest in us. And life really is sweet. That's enough.